Hello, friends. If I may, I'd like to ask you something. Have you ever worried that just one small, well-intentioned mistake in your golden years could unravel the comfortable, secure life you've worked so hard to build? Now, what if I told you that a simple conversation with your children, a conversation that feels like the right thing, the loving thing to do, is actually the number one reason I have personally seen families torn apart after 60? I know, it sounds unbelievable. But the unspoken truth of what happens in these situations is heartbreakingly clear. As a family doctor who has sat with hundreds of patients navigating these exact challenges, I used to think protecting your assets was the main goal. But a retired Harvard professor shared some wisdom with me that changed my entire perspective. It's not about the money, you see. It's about protecting your peace of mind. I'm not talking about theories from a textbook. I'm talking about reality. I'll never forget a patient of mine, Robert. A wonderful man, a retired engineer. He proudly told his kids about his savings, thinking it would bring them peace of mind. Instead, it triggered a quiet, unspoken competition between them. Family dinners became tense. Phone calls felt different. Robert's act of generosity accidentally became a source of conflict that nearly broke his heart. Robert's story is exactly why we're here today. We are going to walk through 13 pieces of heartfelt advice from that professor, piece by piece. We won't just talk about the dangers. We'll uncover the simple, powerful ways to safeguard your happiness and your relationships. And please, stay with me until the very end. The final point we'll discuss is about your health, but it's presented in a way you have likely never heard before. Understanding it could be the most important gift you give yourself and your family. Everything we'll talk about is rooted in decades of real-world observation and profound wisdom. This is a practical guide for a dignified, joyful life. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of you this touches. If the thought of protecting your family's harmony and your own peace of mind is something you think about, please, just take a moment and comment a simple yes below. It shows me you understand. And just as importantly, it shows others in our community that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the first piece of advice. This is perhaps the most difficult, but also the most important. Number 1. Never reveal your full savings. It's a natural impulse, isn't it? To want to be open with your children, to reassure them that you are financially secure. It comes from a place of love. But in my years of practice, I have seen this single act of transparency unintentionally poison family dynamics. The moment a specific dollar amount is known, the dynamic can subtly shift. It moves from one of pure love and concern to one of expectation. Your nest egg, the one you worked a lifetime to build, can suddenly become a future inheritance in their minds, rather than what it truly is. Your shield of independence and your ticket to security in your own final years. The symptoms are often subtle. The phone calls that gently inquire about a small loan for a new business venture. The suggestions about a can't-miss investment opportunity. You start to feel an unspoken pressure. I saw this happen with a dear patient of mine, Carol. After sharing her financial details, her son-in-law began pressuring her to invest in a risky startup. Saying no created a rift that took years to heal. The fact is, studies show that nearly 70% of family conflicts are tied to money. So please, protect your peace. When your children ask, use warm but vague phrases. We're comfortable, or we have enough to see us through. This is not selfishness. It is profound wisdom. Number 2. Do not quarrel with your spouse. Once you've retired, and the house is quieter, the person you spend the most time with is your life partner. And with all that time together, it's easy for small disagreements to grow into larger conflicts. But here's the medical reality. Chronic arguing and constant tension are toxic to your health. It keeps your body in a state of stress, flooding it with the hormone cortisol, which can disrupt your sleep, raise your blood pressure, and put a tremendous strain on your heart. The core reason this is so critical now is that your children are busy with their own lives. Your spouse is your primary, and often only, daily support system. The loneliness you feel after a heated argument at age 70 is a much deeper, more profound loneliness than at 30. You can feel utterly alone in your own home. I had a couple, Bill and Sandra, who were bickering constantly. They felt disconnected and isolated. We didn't talk about complex therapy. We talked about a simple, old-fashioned rule: never go to bed angry. They started taking a short walk together after dinner, every single night, just to talk. It changed everything. So, make time for each other. Schedule a weekly date, even if it's just coffee on the porch. Focus on appreciation, not criticism. Please, take care of your most precious companion. Number 3. Do not spend your own money to raise your grandchildren. The love for a grandchild is a powerful, boundless thing, and the desire to give them everything is an instinct. But we must be careful. I have seen far too many grandparents drain their retirement funds and their physical energy, acting as a full-time daycare and a personal bank. This is a phenomenon sometimes called grandparent burnout, and it is very real. Research has shown that over 60% of grandparents who take on a primary caregiving role report feeling physically and mentally exhausted. The core issue is that your resources, both financial and physical, are now finite. You no longer have a weekly paycheck coming in to replenish your savings. And your body doesn't bounce back from a long, tiring day the way it used to. When you pour everything into your grandchildren, your own well-being can suffer dramatically. It can also, unfortunately, create an unhealthy expectation in your children. Your loving support can begin to be seen not as a gift, but as an obligation. So, what is the solution? Instead of offering money, offer your greatest assets: your wisdom, your time, and your unconditional love. Read them a story. Teach them how to bake. Share your life experiences. Those are the gifts they will truly remember, and they will protect the health and security you've earned. Number 4. If you find yourself living alone, do not rush into remarriage. After losing a spouse, the silence in the house can be deafening. The loneliness can feel like a physical weight, and the urge to fill that void is completely understandable. However, rushing into a new marriage later in life can often create more problems than it solves. Think about it. You have spent 50 or 60 years developing your own habits, your own routines, your own way of doing things. So has your potential new partner. Merging two completely established lives can lead to constant, draining friction over everything from what time you eat dinner to how you manage your finances. And money is a huge issue. There are complicated questions about separate assets, inheritance for your respective children, and who pays for what. It can become a legal and emotional minefield. A patient of mine, a widower named Frank, remarried quickly. He told me, "I just wanted someone to talk to. Instead, I spend all my time arguing about her children's financial problems." He learned that a bad marriage is a far lonelier place than living contentedly on your own. So, before you seek a new partner, I urge you to first build a strong network of friends. Join a club, take a class, volunteer. Enjoy the freedom and independence you have. A life filled with friends and purpose is a powerful antidote to loneliness. Number 5. Hold on to your house. As you get older, your children might come to you with a well-meaning suggestion. "Mom, Dad, this house is too big for you. You should sell it and move into a smaller place, or maybe even move in with us." It sounds practical, and it comes from a place of love, but I urge you to think very, very carefully before giving up your home. That house is so much more than just bricks and mortar. It is your sanctuary. It is the backdrop to a lifetime of memories. It represents your independence, your stability, and your connection to a community. Losing that can be profoundly disorienting. I had a patient, Margaret, whose children convinced her to sell the home she'd lived in for 40 years. She moved into a lovely apartment, but she felt lost. She told me, "I don't just miss the house, I miss myself in that house." Your own home is your safe harbor in a world that can sometimes feel chaotic. It's the one place where you are in complete control. Before you make any decision to sell, explore all the other options. Look into services for aging in place, which can bring help to you. Make modifications to your home to make it safer. Do not give up your fortress of comfort and peace so easily. It is one of your most valuable assets, not for its price, but for your soul. Number 6. Remember the crow-pushing principle. In nature, a mother crow will lovingly care for her young. She will feed them, protect them, and teach them. But there comes a day when she knows, for their own good, that she must push them out of the nest. She does this so they can learn to fly on their own. This is a powerful lesson for us as we age. Our instinct is to continue caring for and solving the problems of our adult children forever. But we cannot, and we should not. Continuing to be the primary emotional and financial safety net for your grown children can be detrimental to both you and them. For you, it drains the resources you now need for your own care and well-being. For them, it can prevent them from developing their own resilience and strength. You are no longer the active parent. Your role has shifted to that of the wise advisor, the loving presence they can turn to, but not the rescuer they depend on for everything. True love, at this stage of life, means trusting that you have given them the wings they need to fly on their own. By stepping back and focusing on your own independence, you are not abandoning them. You are giving them the greatest gift of all, your confidence in their ability to navigate their own lives. Number 7. Do not stay at your child's home for more than 3 days. When you go to visit your children and grandchildren, the joy is immense. You want to soak up every possible moment. But there is an old saying that goes, "Fish and house guests start to smell after 3 days." It sounds harsh, but there is a deep wisdom to it. Even the most loving and welcoming children have their own routines, their own rhythms, and their own private space. When you stay for an extended period, you inevitably disrupt that flow. Even if they never say a word, your prolonged presence can create a subtle, unspoken stress. Your son-in-law or daughter-in-law might feel like they have to be a perfect host, constantly on, unable to fully relax in their own home. It can lead to resentment that builds just beneath the surface. I've seen it many times. The goal is to leave them wanting more, not feeling secretly relieved that you are finally gone. Short, sweet, high-quality visits are far more precious than long, drawn-out stays that overtax everyone's hospitality. Think of it like a beautiful cup of tea. It's best enjoyed at just the right temperature. If it lingers too long, it grows cold. Keep your visits warm, joyful, and just the right length. It is the secret to preserving affection for the long haul. Number 8. Do not have too many expectations. This is a quiet hope that lives in the heart of almost every parent. The dream that when we are old, our children will be there to take care of us, just as we cared for them. It's a beautiful sentiment, but in the modern world, it can become a recipe for disappointment. Our children's lives are not like ours were. They are often juggling demanding careers, their own children's busy schedules, and immense financial pressures. The reality is, they may not have the time, the resources, or even the emotional bandwidth to provide the level of care we might imagine. Holding on to a rigid expectation of how they should behave will only lead to feelings of resentment and hurt on your part, and feelings of guilt and inadequacy on theirs. The healthiest mindset you can adopt is to let that expectation go. Release them from that unspoken burden. Your job now is to build your own strong plan for your later years. This means having your finances in order, knowing your healthcare options, and cultivating a strong social network. See any care and support your children provide not as an obligation they are fulfilling, but as a precious gift. This shift in perspective is liberating. It allows you to appreciate everything they do offer, without being disappointed by what they cannot. Number 9. Do not let unresolved worries steal your sleep. How many nights have you spent lying awake, your mind racing, turning a problem over and over and over again? We think that if we just worry about it hard enough, we'll somehow find a solution. But that's not how it works. Especially at night, our worries tend to grow larger, more menacing, and more tangled than they are in the light of day. This habit of nighttime worrying does nothing to solve the problem, but it does immense damage to your health. Sleep is not a luxury. For a senior, it is a vital pillar of health. It is when your body repairs itself, your brain consolidates memories, and your emotional reserves are refilled. When you sacrifice sleep to worry, you are robbing your body of its essential maintenance time. This can lead to brain fog, a weakened immune system, and an increased risk of heart problems. A simple but powerful practice I recommend to my patients is the brain dump. Keep a small notebook by your bed. Before you turn out the light, write down every single thing that is worrying you. Get it out of your head and onto the paper. Then tell yourself, I will deal with this tomorrow. This simple act gives your mind permission to rest. Protect your sleep as fiercely as you would protect your savings. It is just as valuable. Number 10. Do not fret over your children's lives. As a parent, your instinct to worry about your children never truly goes away. You worry about their careers, their marriages, their health, even when they are 40, 50, or 60 years old. But there is a crucial difference between caring and fretting. Caring is offering a listening ear, providing love and support. Fretting is trying to carry their burdens for them, agonizing over choices that are not yours to make. This kind of chronic worrying does nothing to help them, and it actively harms you. Your adult children must walk their own path. They must make their own mistakes and learn their own lessons. Your constant worry can sometimes feel, to them, like a lack of faith in their abilities. It can feel like interference rather than support. A patient once told me something very wise. She said, "I realized my worrying was about me, not them. It was about my need to feel in control. The most loving thing you can do is to step back. Trust them. Offer your warmth and your wisdom when they ask for it, but do not intrude. Let go of the need to manage their lives." When you release that heavy burden of unnecessary worry, you will find that your own life becomes much lighter, more peaceful, and healthier. Number 11. Do not work yourself to exhaustion. Our generation was raised on a powerful work ethic. We were taught to push through, to ignore fatigue, and to get the job done no matter what. That ethic served us well in our careers, but in retirement, it can become dangerous. Your body is sending you signals for a reason. When you feel tired, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a clear message that you need to rest and recharge. Ignoring that signal and constantly pushing through is like driving your car while the oil light is flashing. Eventually, the engine will break down. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 does not have the same capacity for recovery that it did at 30. Pushing yourself too hard in the garden, trying to do one too many errands, or skipping a nap to finish a project can lead to more than just fatigue. It can lead to falls, injuries, or a serious health event. A patient of mine, a retired contractor, ended up in the hospital after trying to build a new deck by himself in one weekend. He told me, "I still feel 25 in my head, but my body sent me a different memo." You must learn to listen to that memo. Know your limits. Rest is not laziness. It is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle. Respect your body's need for it. Number 12. Don't be so thrifty that you miss out on life's joys. After a lifetime of budgeting, saving for retirement, and being careful with every dollar, it can be very difficult to switch off that saver mindset. Many people who have more than enough money to be comfortable continue to live with a scarcity mentality, denying themselves simple pleasures because it feels wasteful or extravagant. They'll put off that trip they've always dreamed of. They won't buy the slightly more expensive but much more delicious cut of steak at the market. They save their money for a rainy day that, in all likelihood, is already here. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Your golden years are meant to be lived, not just endured. That nest egg you work so hard to build is not meant to be counted. It's meant to be used to bring you joy, comfort, and wonderful experiences. Think of it like a pantry stocked with the finest ingredients you've saved for decades. Now is the time to cook the feast. So please, permit yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Buy the good coffee. Go to that concert. Take your spouse out for a nice dinner for no reason at all. Don't let the habit of saving rob you of the joy of living. The time to savor life is now. Number 13. Health is your greatest asset. We can end with no other point, because this is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank, how beautiful your house is, or how much your children love you. Without your health, none of it can be fully enjoyed. Your health is the currency that buys you independence, freedom, and quality of life. When you lose your health, you risk losing everything. Too many people wait until they receive a scary diagnosis to start taking their health seriously. But true healthcare is not about treating illness. It's about actively cultivating wellness every single day. This is your most important job in retirement. And it rests on 3 simple but powerful pillars: good nutrition, sufficient rest, and a cheerful spirit. Nurture your body with wholesome food. Prioritize getting a good night's sleep. And find joy in your daily life, because your mental state has a direct and powerful impact on your physical well-being. Please, schedule your regular checkups. Go for a walk every day. Stay connected with friends. Taking care of yourself is not a selfish act. It is the single greatest and most loving gift you can ever give to your family. It is the gift of your presence, your vitality, and your peace. As we come to a close, I'd like you to think back to Robert, the man I mentioned at the very beginning. The one whose simple act of generosity nearly tore his family apart. I'm happy to tell you that today, Robert is thriving. He learned to rebuild the bridges with his children, not with money, but with wisdom and with healthy boundaries. Their relationships are now stronger, more honest, and more loving than they have ever been. He didn't lose his family. He found a better way to love them. And that brings us to the heart of everything we've talked about today. The core message isn't about building walls to keep your loved ones out. It's about building the right fences to protect the beautiful garden of your life. It's about understanding that to truly love your family, you must first fiercely protect your own well-being, your independence, and your peace of mind. That is the ultimate gift you can give them. A gift of not having to worry. A gift of your own happiness. But all this knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one heartfelt request for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It doesn't have to be something big. It could be as simple as, I promise to go for a walk tomorrow, or I will let go of a worry that I can't control. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and more importantly, it will inspire others in our community to take that first brave step. And if you found real value and comfort in our time together, you can show your support by giving this video a simple thumbs up. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends, all of us dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person. Just one. Someone in your life who needs to hear this message today, and please, share it with them. You might just change their life more than you know. Thank you for being here. Be well.